Last time, we set up our very first Flask server and gave it a couple of pages, even a dynamic one that could greet you by name. But so far, our app has been kind of flat. Just plain text with no layout, no design, and no way for users to interact with it. In this video, we're going to take things to the next level. We'll expand our app with more routes, move beyond raw strings into real HTML templates, and finally make the app interactive by handling a form that lets users send us input. We already know routes are the backbone of a Flask app. Slash gave us a home page. About gave us a second page. And username let us pass in parameters. Let's expand on that by adding another route, maybe contact. Routes are just like signposts. Each one points to a function that tells Flask what to serve. But returning plain strings isn't exactly web design. Real sites need proper HTML, and that's where templates come in. By default, Flask looks inside a folder called templates. Let's create one. Inside templates, make a file called index.html with some very simple content so we can actually see a page take shape. Now in app.py, instead of returning a plain string, let's render this file. If you reload the page, you'll see a real HTML structure instead of just a lonely message. And here's where Flask gets powerful. With Jinja 2, its template engine, we can drop Python variables right into our HTML. For example, let's pass a name into our template and display it dynamically. And in HTML, we can greet that user with double curly braces. This way, we've gone from static strings to a full page that mixes HTML with dynamic content. Now let's make the app interactive. Instead of just showing text, let's actually give the user a way to type something in. We'll create a new page called greet.html inside the templates folder. This page will have a simple form with a text box where the user can type their names. Notice that the form has method =post that tells the browser to send the input data back to the server when the button is clicked. The text box is named name, so Flask will know where to look for the value. Now in our Python code, we capture that input using request.forms. Here's what's happening. When you first visit greet with a normal GET request, Flask just shows the form. Once you type your name and hit submit, the form sends a post request. Flask then reads the submitted data from request.formName and uses it to generate a response like hello digital. This back and forth is the core of web interactivity. The browser sends data to the server and the server processes it and sends something new in return. Just like that, we've gone from static text to pages that actually respond to what the user does. Today, we expanded our app with new routes, switching from plain strings to proper HTML templates, and brought Jinja 2 into play to mix Python with our pages. On top of that, we built our very first form and watched Flask capture user input and respond dynamically. Here's your challenge. Create a form with two fields, one for a name and one for a favorite color. When the form is submitted, greet the user by name and display that message in their chosen color. It's a fun way to see how Python, HTML, and Jinja 2 can all work together. Post your version in the comments. I'd love to see how creative you can get. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next dimension.